Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we received the new 1.5.3 beta and the 1.5.2 moved to live. The update is about 1.3 gigabytes, and it's a pretty small patch in my opinion. The link to this new beta patch will be down below if you want to read it all for yourself and join the conversation on the forums. There are a lot of changes that were mentioned in this patch that we received in previous hotfixes, mostly crash and bug fixes, so I will not include them unless they are, relevant and big enough for me to mention, right? Also, very minor changes will not be included to keep this video a good length for you guys. If you want to check out all the minor changes, like I said before, the beta patch will be linked down below. So we're going to do single player, multiplayer, and then both in terms of changes. So let's do single player first. Oh, and before we start, I have a script like always. Everything I say, all the links that are stated, they will all be down below, and it will be on the screen right now for you to translate or do whatever you want to do, right? So, single player first. First, let's go over crash fixes. They will be on the screen if you wish to pause. There are a lot of them. I would say about half of them we received in previous hot fixes, so you can pause it right now, check those out. But yeah, a lot of crash fixes as per usual when we have a new beta. Next we have is all deleted or changed items in the game from the XML files will now become trash items or be seen as trash items, which means old saves will now work properly and not crash when they encounter those new or those changed items, right? So I think this is pretty big in my opinion. A lot more saves will work now, so overall good change. Next up is improvements on Kazate villages. We have Kazate Village B and Kazate Village C. I think these are visual improvements and some mesh improvements and probably some shading improvements. They weren't very specific about it, but that's what I'm guessing it is. Next up is added new workshop wall scene props. So different workshops will have different props on there. So if it's like a smithy, you'll see more blacksmithing stuff. If it's let's say a brewery, you'll see more stuff that has to do with obviously brewing and all of that, right? So kind of cool, more visual changes. Then we have his updated cloth patterns and some mesh details for battanian armors. So we had a lot of Reddit posts and other posts that had to do with battanian armors and other armors looking very smooth and no real texture to them. Those should be added now. They've updated them and hopefully they are to people like them pretty much, right? Next here is fix the bug which crashed the game when the player transferred troops to custom formations in battle and then gave formation orders. So if you have custom formations and then you gave extra orders on top of that, the game would sometimes crash, but that is now fixed. Then we have a minor position calculation error in the formation AI was fixed. So the formation AI is getting a little bit better every patch, so hopefully this does improve it as well. Then we have Cavalry aiming had some errors on hills, which resulted in Cavalry not hitting the enemy at all. This was fixed, so they have better aim now when it comes to hills, mountains, and all of that. Then moving on to perks, so we have 18 combat-related archery skill perks added. This will complete the archery skill tree. Then we have 19 combat-related crossbow skill perks, which will also complete the crossbow skill tree. And also, stewardship experience will be gained for heroes, pretty much companions or your family, whoever you want to put as a governor. So governors will now gain stewardship experience, which makes a lot of sense and is a good change to see. And if we go to characters right now on the screen, right here, so we got bow skills, and then we have the one where it's called Horse Master. We can use all bows on horseback. Let me know if this does work finally or if it doesn't work, and if it doesn't work, go to the forum link that I have in the description and let the developers know so they could know what to fix, right? But these two have been completely reworked and should be working as of now. Next we have is fix the bug that caused prisoners to become neutral yet remain captive in some situations after the AI that besieged the castle that held the prisoners made peace with the owner. So it was a bug where pretty much prisoners would become neutral because you're not at war anymore, you made peace, but they would still be in prison. That is now fixed. They will be released. Next we have is pretty much quests. So all info will be on the screen so you can see all the changes and pause if you need to. But the main additions are 2 new quests, and they are called The Art of the Deal and Ladies Night Out. And night being spelled as in, the knight with armor and all of that. Next up is added a few new dialogues and comments for guards and other NPCs in towns and settlements. So we're going to go do that right now, go talk to a couple and show you what they say now. Alrighty, so now that we're here in town, we're going to start talking to them and see what they have to say. As you can see, they do mention what's it called, nobles that are in the town, or rulers, or you know what I mean, lords that might control the town, stuff like that. And they always have like this little background story, and then they either support the ruler or they don't support it. Just a little bit gossip here and then. And also they tell you world news as well. So let's say if they're fighting somebody and they're getting pushed back, they will state it too, like those guys are right on the borders, they're attacking us, and stuff of that nature. So let's go talk to a couple more. As you can see, I've heard that Lucian's Imperials have been raiding across the border. See, right there. So overall, you can have some conversations with them. I heard Lucian's Imperials burn and pillage Lochanon, Bastard. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. I think that's very, very cool. And the Lord Tulog doesn't always remember those who've done him a good service. See, just overall like little backstories and tells you a little bit more information. And I think that's very, very cool. And I like that there's a lot of unique ones. Like a lot. So I hear the Azrai burned and pillaged. You know what I'm saying? Like, very cool. And this is pretty much in all towns and settlements. So it's a pretty big, what'd you call it? It's a very, very big change in my opinion. Very good quality of life change. As you can see, they state that this lord has died in a cage. You know what I'm saying? All of these cry their grief and all the others. You know, stuff like that. I think it's very, 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 very cool in my opinion. So more stuff like this and maybe even deeper conversations that we could have would be very, very cool. But yeah, let's move on to the next change. Next change we have is if a player is waiting in a village and the village gets raided by someone, the player will be directed to an encounter menu which allows them to join the raid either by helping the village or helping the attackers. Also a new feature. Cool feature. I like it. So if you are in a village, it starts getting raided, you can choose to defend it. You can choose to help the person raiding it. Hopefully there's a third choice of just leaving. You know what I mean? We'll see. Then we have steppe martyrs and raiders are now assigned as horse archers. So if we go to the encyclopedia, marauder, there it is. As you can see, they are horse archers now. They were horsemen before, and actually they were steppe marauders. I mean, don't even show it. I guess it's just under the marauder category. And then we have raiders. Raider, click on it. Does not want to be clicked on. Okay, so let's see if we can quickly find this. Bandit, there he is. This is a horse archer as well. So there it is. Kind of minor, but good change. Next we have is Khan's guards units now have an additional set of arrows instead of their one-handed mace. So this is a buff to Khan's guards, and I don't know if we need it technically right now because the Khazaits are very powerful, but if you are a Khazait player, this is good news for you. Next is blunt arrows have issues with inconsistent damage. It won't be possible to purchase them for the time being, so they have been disabled temporarily until they fix the inconsistent damage problem that come with the blunt arrows. So that is unfortunate, but that is what we have now. Next up is another new feature, very cool. Infantries can now dismount mounted enemies with hooked guarded spears. So the two units that can do this are the Battanian Oathsworn and the Picked Warrior. These are the troops that have this feature and use these weapons to pretty much, you know, instead of using a spear to like try to get them off the horse, they will use what's it called, the hooked spears to just get them off the horse. They won't die, but they'll fly off the horse. That kind of makes sense, right? So spear guards with dismount features are the double huge hooks with fur covering, double hooks, weighted long thorns, singular hook wing, double hook wings, and double thorn wings. Those are all the weapons that are able to do this feature. Very cool feature. I like it. So and it's good that Battanians got it because they're the ones that don't really have horses or powerful horses at that point. So very good new addition in my opinion. Next we have is new heroes for custom battles. Heroes with couch lances, longbows, and more are available for your custom battles. Hopefully we can have pretty much, you know, custom heroes in the future which we can make, or we can import them from our single player campaigns. But for right now we do have extra heroes to use, which is good to see. Next we have is added cheat commands to change settlement loyalty, security, militia, and prosperity. So if you do use cheats, there's another thing you can play around with. And lastly, for single player, we have when entering a village, your companions now use battle outfits instead of civilian outfits. I'm pretty sure this has to do with the change of you being able to join a raid if you are in the village. So Now they come with the battle outfits instead of the civilian ones. Now onto multiplayer. First we was fixed a bug where inaccuracy for shooting / throwing wasn't applied on horseback. So now if you're on horseback, that is applied to you as well. Next we was reduced the maximum inaccuracy for throwing weapons. So pretty much throwing weapons are a little bit more accurate, but still kind of inaccurate. Next it is now pretty much map changes. Port of Omar had visual improvements, which I hope includes the tree problem, which was pretty much a visual problem where the tree appeared very big for some people, and for other people it was very small. So therefore people can hide next to the tree, and some players could not see them, and they could just shoot them down, right, with arrows. Also, more changes to various other maps are on the screen right now if you wish to pause and check those out as well. And lastly, for multiplayer, we have auto team selection button will now put the player into a team with low amount of players. So if you choose that option, that's where you will pretty much be placed. Now onto both multiplayer and single player. So they adjusted the movement and accuracy for archers and made it more consistent between multiplayer and single player. They fixed a crash that occurred after changing the graphics setting, and they fixed the bug that caused banner rams to not deliver damage. And that's pretty much all the changes for this patch. Quite a small one. Hopefully we do see bigger changes next time, but the devs have also listed a known issues thread that was updated today that shows everything the devs are aware of and currently working on. I will link that down below, but I'm also going to make a video on it later today, so stay tuned. Also, unfortunately, no news on modding tools as of now, but I will keep you guys updated when I am updated as well. Lastly, I'm going to end this video in the same way I end most of my update and dev talk videos. I want to thank the developers for staying active and bringing good changes. Also, I have a video on how you can revert your game to any other patch released or to the current patch if you are stuck in an old patch. Very small tutorial, very short tutorial, and it's going to get you to where you're going. Also, I did start a Patreon, basic support, no paywalling. My content will always be free. It's just another way to support me, so that link will be down below as well. And hopefully this video was informative, and like always, stay safe.